Welcome back to another informative, entertaining, and inspiring show, Ask AP Live. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Come on in. I don't know why I gotta sing everything. It's such a habit. Ivory, you are the first person on here tonight. Welcome. Hey, Tasha girl. Oregon is in the building tonight. Welcome, everybody. Hi, Alyssa. Thank y'all so much for checking in with me tonight. How is everyone feeling? Hope everybody is having a good week so far. It is Wednesday, my absolute favorite day of the week because Ask AP Live comes on every Wednesday. Super excited about tonight's show. We are continuing our conversation on mental health. May, for those who don't know, is Mental Health Awareness Month. Last week we had Asia Burks, who blew me away. She was so good. If you missed last week's show, you have to go and check out the playback. She was so great, gave us some great tips on handling mental health, what mental health looks like, what depression looks like. Oh my gosh, my second time having her on the show, she was amazing. Tonight, we had a newcomer to the show, Miss Felicia Burks, who is a therapist, and she's going to talk with us tonight about mental health. My first time meeting her is tonight, but she came with some great reviews. She was referred to me, and I know she's going to do a fantastic job. So invite some people on tonight. If you know someone that is struggling in this area, please invite them on tonight. We want to offer them resources and tips and just some information on, how to handle things. The world is crazy. Every day is something. You can count on it being something. And so we have to, number one, we got to know the Lord. You know, that's my go-to, my number one go-to. But the Lord did send us licensed individuals as well. So we got a couple of things we can work with, him being number one. So come on in, tell a friend. Rhea is here. Hey, Rhea. Thank you so much, Tasha. The show was so bomb last week. And tonight I'm expecting it to be even better every week. I appreciate y'all. I see Detroit. Oregon is here. Cali is here. Who else is here? I want to show y'all some love tonight. If this is your first time tuning in to Ask AP, welcome. Thank you. I hope something is said or done tonight that keeps you tuning in every Wednesday. Shout out to my faithfuls. I love y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in every week. I love y'all. Y'all keep me going. So if you, like I said, invite some people on. And this is my time to show y'all some love. Miss Piggy, how are you? Oh, Mrs. Excuse me. Let me put some respect on that. Mrs. Piggy, how are you? Glam Britt. Hey, Britt, how are you? Thank you so much. Felicia is here, child. Felicia came on at 9 o'clock. Felicia was not playing, okay? I love it. Let me get Felicia on the show. She is here. I love it.
Here. Wait, can you see me?
You gotta lean it. I can see you. Just lean it up just a little bit.
Just a little bit? Okay, hold on. Let me fix it. Okay, is that good? Or can I do it some more?
Just do it a little bit more so you won't be like super cut off. I want to make sure.
Okay, let me fix it.
No problem. Take your time.
Okay, this should be better.
Perfect. Hi, Felicia.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing so good. I am super excited to have you on the show tonight.
I am too.
My friend, you know Nichelle. I don't got to tell you.
I love Nichelle.
So Nichelle, I was talking to Nichelle and she was like, you got to get my girl Felicia on the show. And I was like, okay. I have to touch on it. I have to do a mental health show.
Of course.
Only because I didn't know that I was suffering in those areas until I experienced a couple of things that were just crazy. And
Yeah.
once I realized that, I was like, you know what? I gotta face this, and I know there are a lot of other people,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that probably feel like me, like this stuff doesn't affect us, and it really, really does.
It does.
So, I'm always going to do May forever. Is going to be where I do mental health. That's what I'm gonna do in May every
Mm-hmm.
year.
Every year.
Important for me to get you on the show, just to discuss with us, you know, some things about our mental health, some things that we may or may not know.
Yeah.
People that may be struggling in those areas. So I want to just start off by saying thank you so much, and just for time, nobody has to do anything for you, and so I'm honored to have you here and just to pick your brain. You're a professional, you're licensed, and we know you know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not licensed, but I am. But I am an expert. Like, I talk about it a lot. Like, that's what it's about. My podcast is surrounding that. So I have been talking about it a lot. I am aware of a lot of things that's happening with mental health. So
Okay, well maybe after tonight you will be like,
hopefully, let's.
I'm speaking.
Yeah, speak it into the atmosphere. Yes, speak it.
That's a good
Speak
thing.
it.
So let's talk a little bit about your background and your foundation, and what kind of led you into going into this field of therapy.
Well, what made me go into mental health is because I was battling with a lot. Like, I was struggling with a lot. Like, I want to say maybe like 5 years ago, I was diagnosed with anxiety, really, really bad. And that's because I had dealt with a lot of trauma in my life. You know, I had lost my brother when I was very young, and amongst other things that has happened to me. So I was going through a lot mentally, and I was struggling, and I didn't know. I wasn't getting any sleep. My mind was racing a lot, and I just knew something was wrong with me, but I just didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
I wasn't even going to therapy or nothing. I was just dealing with it daily, and I was releasing it in the wrong ways, if that makes sense. And and then once I start, I'm like, I have to figure out what's wrong with me. And my doctor was like, you have a real bad anxiety, it's bad. So I started like trying to do some things naturally to try to because I didn't want to get on any type of medication or anything. So I try to do something naturally to try to make myself feel better, try to change my environment, and try to at least allow myself to heal properly.
Right.
So I started going to therapy, and that was my first step. I actually got a therapist 5 years ago, and when I started going to therapy, I started identifying things about myself that I wasn't aware of.
Yeah.
And it kind of made me feel like, okay, I need to do better. I need to really focus on actually healing and getting myself together, because I'm damaging myself and I'm damaging the people that's around me. So I started, going along that healing journey, going to therapy, actually just doing research on anxiety and depression, and just trying to figure out what are some of the things that we can do to be better.
Right.
And that's how I got started on mental health.
Okay. So going to therapy, I want to touch a little bit on that, because a lot of us, and I'm saying us.
Yes, of course.
We don't talk to nobody.
We look down upon on therapy.
Right.
Like, if you tell someone you're going to therapy, people are like, why? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, why are you going to therapy? And I feel like we should be open to that, because it's nothing wrong with it at all. My friends go to therapy. Mm-hmm. I have people that I work with go to therapy. Like, now we're starting to be more open to it. We're starting to actually talk to people. But I think that women are starting to be open to it, and not men as much. So, but it's absolutely nothing wrong with therapy.
So your first initial step to going towards therapy.
Yeah.
How was that a struggle for you? Like, tell us the steps that you took before you were like, okay, I need therapy. Because I believe that a lot of us, most of us, need some form of therapy.
Yeah, of course.
So what were the steps that you took in order to, to go to therapy? I'm sure that takes a lot out of you to say, listen, I have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to go see somebody, rather than talking to your family and your friends, people that are going to kind of tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah.
What steps that you took and just taking that leap and going?
Well, I would like to say before I started going to therapy, I was literally just crying for no reason, just not wanting to be around people. I started catching myself wanting to be alone a lot. And I was allowing myself to be in a dark place, and I didn't want to be there. So what made me start researching therapists, I'm like, okay, I need to talk to somebody. I need to figure out why am I going through these things, because I did feel at the time that I didn't have anybody to talk to and no one would understand me, because, usually when you go through things, in our culture, they think that you're supposed to just deal with it and keep it moving. And that's the problem. You can't deal with it and keep it moving. As long as we suppress our feelings, it's going to turn into something else, and it might not be good. So I ended up doing some research, and my first therapist was white. And I was going to her for like maybe 6 months, and it wasn't bad, but I just felt like it wasn't relatable. And she did touch on some things, and she did allow me to see some of the things that I was battling with and that I was struggling with. She was giving me homework to do, some of the things that I can do to understand how I can get past this place that I'm in. And then when I end up finding my second therapist, she was Black, and she was an older woman, and she was about in her late 50s, and she was so relatable. It was a lot of things that she experienced that I have experienced, and she was able to help me to not only forgive myself for some of the things that I was struggling with, but to allow myself to start over. A lot of times we don't want to start over. That can look scary. We don't want to change our environment because we're comfortable. We don't want to change some of the things that we're doing because we're comfortable.
Yeah.
But when you get out of that comfort zone and you completely start over, it's like a new beginning.
Give us a few tips that now from being in therapy. There may be someone who wants to seek therapy, probably just not really sure.
Yeah.
Right? Give us some tips right now on how to keep your mental health in somewhat of a check. You know what I'm saying? Before, if there's someone straddling the fence right now on, hey, should I get some help? Or, maybe I'm okay. Give us tips on, trying to keep everything in check. Because you've been in therapy, so I know, and you do therapy, so I know some things that can kind of get us on, like, I guess, an everyday mental health check. What are some?
The first thing I would like to say is you have to have God in your life. You have to be strong on prayer. I have the Bible app on my phone, so I read the scripture twice a day, and I pray a lot too. So I think that having a relationship with God is the first step. You have, I think that a lot of people struggle with that because they feel like if nothing is changing in their life immediately, that God doesn't exist. He does, but you have to do the work too. He only going to meet you halfway. You can't do everything, So I feel like, having God first and praying a lot and just allowing yourself that time to yourself. I think that I feel like sometimes people cope with being around a lot of people. They want to just be around a lot of people, and they feel like if I'm around a lot of people, then I can escape what I'm going through.
Yeah.
I think that if you allow yourself to be alone and you actually give your time that peace and just, take deep breaths and just try to relax, because usually when you're battling with a lot, you feel very, like, I would say uncomfortable, but you just don't feel like yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of different steps, but it's all about what you're comfortable with doing. Like, I can tell you to do a lot of things, but you might not want to do that because you might not be comfortable with it. But whatever you feel serves your comfort is something that you probably want to start there first. And usually when you pray a lot, that'll lead you on what you need to do.
It absolutely will. It will. I think some people look at prayer as a cliche because they tell you, like, oh, you got to pray about it. And they'll be like, oh, I'm so tired of hearing pray about it. But if you really effectively pray, you see something change like I said, when the show first came on, you know, God first, but God did send us people, you know what I mean, to help us.
Yeah.
And God made therapists.
He
You know,
did.
He made doctors. You should go to the doctor, get yourself checked out. He
Yeah.
made dentists. You know, He made these people, you
Mhm.
know, to help us. And so, I kind of want to move a little bit until you spoke a little bit about this, being around people. Which for me, I believe that when I need a mental health break,
Mhm.
my mental health break is to stay is to stay
Stay
away from
away.
you.
Yeah.
I go the opposite way. Like I don't I don't when I'm feeling some type of way, I don't like to entertain people. And I know that can be kind of, you know, I'm not saying it like that, but I need to stay away. So talk a little bit about how relationships affect your mental health. I'm talking professional, personal. Like sometimes our mental health is affected by the people that we're
Of
around.
course. I feel like relationships is probably one of the starting things of that affects our mental health is your environment. The people that you're around, you got to think about the people that you're around all the time. The people that you're around all the time maybe could be your parents, it could be some of your family members, some of your friends. And just because you love this person, they've been in your life for a very long time, doesn't mean that they're good for you. You know, sometimes we use love as an excuse to keep people in our life.
Yeah.
And sometimes those people are not good for us. You know, you're supposed to have people in your life that want you to do better, want you to be better, that supports you, that's actually physically there for you. And having relationships with people, I think that we use the time, you know, how long we've known someone, you know.
Right.
And honestly, I feel like that's not always good because that can really hurt you mentally. Like you can have a friendship with a friend for 15 years and this person really brings you down, but
Right.
you love them.
Grow that person.
Yeah, but you love them and you keep them around because the energy that you're giving them, they're not giving you. But you're not going to change who you are because that's who you are. But they're not good for you. So I just think that, you know, and then honestly, relationships as in like your partner, your boyfriend, your fiance, who like this person, they play a big part on your mental health as well. You
Absolutely.
know, all of the things that you've experienced with this person, the ups and downs, all of the struggles, you know, that's trauma. So,
Yeah.
sometimes we allow people to be in our life longer than they're supposed to be, you know, and then that damages you along the way and that affects your mental health.
Yeah.
It's caused you to have a lot of anxiety. Like for me, like a lot of things can trigger me.
Mm-hmm.
But in order for me to not to be triggered, I have to not be around certain people that's going to trigger me.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I think that you have to, you know, be very vocal about who you want in your circle
Mm-hmm.
because you can literally be starting over. And as soon as you allow this person back in your life, you back at square one.
Mm-hmm.
But you were triggered by something that you probably experienced or something that you experienced with them. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that relationships play a huge part in your mental health because the people that's around you are supposed to elevate you and it's supposed to allow you to be able to heal properly if they're helping you. You
Right.
know, having best friends and having people in your life that checks on you. You know, how are you doing today? Like, how are you feeling? Like, you know, I know I haven't talked to you all day. I'm just checking in. We
Right.
don't have that a lot. You know, we have people that call you for different reasons. We all got friends for different reasons. We
Absolutely.
have people that we be around for different reasons. You might not talk about everything with this person, but people don't check on each other anymore. And we need that because you just never know what somebody is actually going through. So I think relationships play a huge part.
I think especially for those of us who are strong and we got people around us that think that we're okay all the time. I think I
Mm-hmm.
can speak on that for me personally. I'm always the strong one.
Yeah.
I'm always the one that everybody always says be okay or she'll figure it out. And I was
Those are the ones you got to check
yeah,
on.
I was just talking to somebody about this the other day for like 2 hours, and we both are strong ones, like in our, within our peers.
Yeah.
And we were saying how people will come to us and open up to us about everything, right? And so we take in all that, but when it's time for us to release, we don't even have anybody to be like that.
Yeah, you
And
don't.
it's so unfair.
Because everybody comes to you.
Yeah, like who can I be vulnerable with? You know what I'm saying? Who can I put all my stuff on? And 9 times out of 10, I would never do it anyway. But I'm just saying, like, who's gonna be that outlet for me, and I'm the outlet for everybody else when everything else is falling apart. And I believe that really plays strongly on your mental health. And those are the times when I gotta go into my prayer closet and when I need to be alone, because even in a conversation like you and I are having right now, something can be said in a conversation. People don't realize this. You got to be careful what you allow yourself to hear. Because sometimes out of a conversation, somebody can say something to you, and that thing be on you all day.
All day.
All day long.
All day.
Everything that's going on with them. That's why I don't allow people to say certain things to me. I do not hold certain conversations with people. If some people, I can't even talk to them because I don't want that baggage on me. You know what I mean? Because you don't know what people go through every day. You have to be mindful when you're ready to tell somebody something. You got to be super mindful. Talk about, because this is a really strong thing in the Black community. Definitely depression. Talk about how to recognize if you're depressed or becoming depressed. Like, what are some signs? What does that look like?
Depression can look like a lot of things. You know, some people be literally depressed and you wouldn't even know. You know, then you have some depression where you can see it. You know, you have some people where they literally won't answer their phone. They literally be at home all day, probably in the bed, probably didn't change clothes. They probably ate something, got back in the bed, not answering their phone. They're just soaking in their depression. Then you have some people that go to work every day, still hang out with their friends, still be with their kids, still do normal daily activities and be fully depressed. So depression doesn't have a face. It doesn't have what it looks like, really, because it can look like a lot of things.
Right.
And I think that the best way to find out if something is wrong or somebody is struggling and you know them is to ask. You know, like, can you talk to me? You know, but it's about your approach. Some people just be like, ain't nothing wrong with me. Why you asking me that? You know, but the best way to do it is to do it alone, like when it's just you and them, no one around.
Right.
Because nobody want to feel embarrassed about asking them about something that's going on with them.
Absolutely.
You know, so you want to be very personal about it, and you want to be, you know, very closed off. You don't want it to look like you just in their business. You want to make it to where you're concerned and that you care about them and that you love them and you just want to make sure that they are okay. You know, but if you have somebody that's in your life and you know that's not them, you know how you be around someone and you be like, that's not like them.
Yeah.
Or not to answer the phone, or that's not like her to not show up, or that's not like him to, you know, that's when you do your check-ins. You really need to find out what's really going on with them. So that's why I say, like, depression really don't have a face. And depression is like one of the most battling things that you can go through. You know, it's tough coming out of that. That's not to come out of. That's not something that you think will go away in 30 days. That's a process.
Yeah.
Because people literally are harboring feelings from childhood. You know, they're harboring things that they experienced that was taken from them. You know, so it's a lot. Like, I don't think people understand that battle.
So can I guess someone, you know, can it be like, can you say depression is maybe like just super irritated all the time.
Irritable.
For no reason.
Just have an attitude and
No
just
energy.
snappy at you, and you like, I didn't even do anything. And a person that's always angry, you know, they're never happy, and they look unhappy. And sometimes the unhappiness could be on you.
Yeah,
it could be your body language, you know. So a lot of that shows when a person is depressed and they are very unhappy, because when you are depressed, you are unhappy. You are unhappy with yourself. You are unhappy with your life. You are unhappy with your surroundings. You are just unhappy. So, yeah.
I want to touch a little bit on grief, because that has been a major with me and my mental health the past couple years. I know you said earlier that you lost your brother at a young age, and I lost my brother last year from cancer. And I had 2 back-to-back, so I lost both of my older siblings.
Oh, wow.
Back-to-back. So in 2019, I lost my sister unexpectedly. And around the same time, my brother was battling cancer, and he passed away last year. So I had a death 19 and 21, which was crazy.
Yeah, but that's literally was back to back. You didn't even have time to grieve.
And that was a huge thing for me, because with my sister, I didn't process it, and I had to keep moving.
Yeah,
things going on, and it was so much to do, and I never grieved her at all. I just kept it moving.
Yeah.
When my brother passed away, I was forced to, like, I didn't have any control over my mind. I didn't have any control over my body. I didn't have any control over anything. Like, I was literally forced to grieve. So, with that being said, how do you, or is it a such thing as properly grieving and taking out the time to say, hey, this is where I am, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want to be here. I don't like that I'm here, but I'm here. You know what is there a way to do that? Because the first time I had no idea, but this time it was like, whoa, like you gotta do it.
I have to at this point.
I have to do it. So is there a proper way to grieve? And then is it? I don't know.
I don't think there's a proper way to grieve, because for me, when my brother passed away, I was 19 and he had just turned 16, literally. So, and at that time when he passed away, I wasn't even able to grieve because I did his whole funeral. I did everything myself because my mom wasn't able to handle it.
Yeah.
My mom wasn't even in town when my brother passed away, you know, like when that happened to him, like his life was taken from him, and I found him, and I that had to break the news to all my siblings.
My God.
I had to call the paramedics. I had to, you know, because I was the only person that was around when it happened. So it was a lot to deal with because I was very young, and to see him like that and to have to battle with that. And I don't think people understand where a lot of my anxiety comes from. It comes from that. That was my starting point. And I literally didn't start grieving my little brother's death until maybe, I want to say, 4 or 5 years after he passed. I wasn't able to grieve during that time because there was so much going on. You know, I had to be there for my mom. I had to see if she's healing. I had to make sure that, you know, she was able to cope with the fact that not only did I lose a brother, she lost a son. So it was a lot to deal with at that time. And then when I actually started, you know, seeing him, you know, he was coming to me, and I was questioning it, like, why am I seeing him? You know, like, and then I had a lot of, you know, me and my little brother, we didn't have the best relationship. So that's what I struggled with the most.
Takes a real toll. I'm sorry to cut you off.
It does. It does.
Bears witness to me because my sister and I were not when
yeah, that's tough. That's very tough.
I literally deal with that like every day.
Yeah, that's tough. Let it out. And that's the only way that you're going to be able to feel your feelings. You have to let it out. But that's very tough. And I'm just going to say that when I went to therapy, when I felt like my little brother didn't forgive me, my therapist had me write a letter to him asking for his forgiveness. And when she had me write that letter to him, that next day, he came to me and he forgave me. Because I felt like that was on my heart, that he was never going to forgive me because we didn't have the best relationship. So I'm going to say to you is to, I'm quite sure she's forgave you, but it's nothing wrong with asking for it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with asking for forgiveness. It's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And you will be at peace knowing that. Even though that's your sister and I know y'all loved each other.
Right.
We all go through things because we're siblings, you know? We fight, we fuss, we love each other. We grew up in the same household, same mother, same struggle, same everything. We know what we've been through. But it's nothing wrong with asking for forgiveness. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just like they're here. They're just in spirit. And when I did that journey that my therapist took me on, when she had me write that letter, the letter was actually called a release letter, because you're releasing what you're feeling and you're asking for forgiveness. And that was a step for me. And when I took that step, it just allowed me to start over like my little brother forgave me.
Yeah.
Now I can actually breathe and I can live my life, and he's living through me now. So, but it's a battle, and I understand what you're going through. It's a battle, but
I think that was one of the reasons why I didn't grieve her properly, and I like kept it pushing because I knew that we weren't in a great space.
yeah,
And I didn't want to feel I didn't want to feel it. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Like
yeah,
I want to feel, because not only was, of course that was my sister, but we weren't talking. And
yeah,
I didn't want to feel that. Like, I was already feeling like, oh my God, I can't believe it. This happened. And I still don't believe it. You know what I mean? It's still very
yeah,
but I just wanted to keep moving. I didn't want to be still in it. So that's what I did. I completely like blocked it out and I shut it down. But then when my brother passed away, it was like
It
her.
forced you to deal with her because you didn't grieve with her.
Yeah.
You didn't allow yourself to feel the things that you should have felt when she passed away.
Right.
Because grieving is a process. I'm still grieving. My brother died years ago. Every day I wake up knowing that I don't have a sibling anymore, knowing that he didn't go to prom, knowing that he didn't get married, knowing that he wasn't able to live the life that God gave him.
Right.
It was just that, that's a battle every day. So we all trying to find a way to be mentally okay. It's just a way that we're going to deal with it, and how you deal with it and how you live your life. I always tell people, being a good person will allow you to be where you need to be in life.
Yeah.
Do right by people, and you keep God in your life, and you love the people that surround you, you will always be able to move forward.
I agree.
Oh.
Talk about your podcast, because your podcast is focused around mental therapy and what you do. So tell us about the podcast and how we can.
Podcast is my baby. Like, I literally was thinking about my podcast years ago. I was talking about it. I was just so scared to do it because I'm like, who gonna listen to me? Like, and then people was just telling me, like, do you not understand that what you're talking about, nobody's talking about?
Nobody. Absolutely.
Everybody, like, you need to talk about it.
Absolutely.
Allow people to be comfortable so they can talk about it. And that was my main goal on why I started the podcast, because I wanted people to be comfortable with talking about the things that they're battling with. Like,
right.
I didn't have men come on my podcast talking about how they've been in foster homes and how, they wasn't loved properly and they don't know what love feels like. That's what we need to hear. We need to hear that, because that's why our culture is so divided, because we've been through so much and we don't know how to deal with that. So we end up doing things that we regret, hurting people, taking from people. It's just a cycle that's never ending. So I just wanted to start something to where people could come on and talk about their feelings. Let's talk about it. I think talking is very therapeutic, because when you're suppressing those feelings and you're not talking about it, you're not doing anything with it. It's not going anywhere. It's just in you. And then and then a lot of people feel like, oh my God, if she can talk about the stuff that she went through, I can too. You can. So that's why I started my podcast. I actually just started it this past December. So it hasn't even really been that long. But I did a few episodes already. I'm actually doing a new episode next Sunday. And I'm probably going to have another guy on there. I'm trying to get more men to speak about what they've been going through, because they don't talk about anything. Men have been through a lot. They just don't talk about it. But just like women has been through a lot in their past, in their childhood, so is men. The same thing that people think that women go through, molestation, rape, and all that, men been through it too. They have feelings. They have a heart. So they should be able to express those things that they've been through in their life, just like women. So that's why I created that platform, so that we can talk about some of the things that we're going through. And, everybody is battling with something. And I just want people to be able to talk about it so that they can be better. And that's the goal.
So where can we watch the podcast? Where we can find the podcast? Where is it streaming?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Okay.
So the podcast is on YouTube. We All Forgive. It is on YouTube, so you can see it on there. I'm trying to get it on other platforms. Hopefully by the summer it will be on Apple, and it will be on other platforms as well that they can see it on. But
are you streaming live? Are you live, or is it recorded?
Actually, it's recorded. I haven't started doing the live thing yet, but I probably will soon. But these are already videos that I've already done.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, I absolutely appreciate you for being on tonight. I'm gonna definitely be in with you,
of course,
and checking out the podcast, because I believe that God definitely gave you this for a reason. I like what it's about. I'm always 100% behind us.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And I like what it's about. I like what you're doing. It's different, and you helping people. And that's what my show is about, is to highlight people like you, that are out here, that are, that are doing things to help us, help the world, period. People.
Because we need it, because who's going to help us?
Absolutely.
Like, who's going to be there for us? It's like, we're trying to, at least we have to start somewhere.
We do.
Even if it starts small, at least it started.
Yeah.
All that matters.
Absolutely.
So we have to start somewhere. But I just want to say that I love your energy. You have a beautiful spirit. When I went on your page and I started watching your videos, I was like, I love her. I'm like, I'm so glad Michelle made this happen. I'm like,
I love my boo.
Your energy. You are a beautiful person.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And I get that off of you. I'm a very good judge of character. I think that's one of my superpowers. I'm real. I'm a very good judge of character. And I get that we're gonna have to connect.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Let's put it together. Let's make something happen. And
I mean, the summer's approaching.
It is.
Try to link up and do something summer or the beginning of fall.
Yeah.
Together something. We'll figure it out. I believe we will.
We're gonna be communicating.
Yeah.
So So
Yeah,
we
let's figure something out. How we
really can.
build on top of what we're doing tonight. Let's figure it out.
Okay.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, I am too.
Okay, Felicia, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome.
On the show. I appreciate you, and I'm gonna link with you really soon.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.